West Virginia has, I call West Virginia the tax reform state. No state has changed its tax laws as often as we have. And that creates a lot of instability, which also makes it a little bit difficult to do business. And it all started with the 1932 constitutional amendment. I'm not sure there was a whole lot of thought behind it. It just happened. And then the legislature, right after, scrambled, put together one of the first sales taxes in the country that includes lots of services. Added a temporary income tax that was then disappeared, and then we were mainly a consumption tax state from the late 40s all the way to about 1961. Started to bring in the income tax in the early 60s, but income taxes never played a major role on the business side because you got a credit for the B&O tax against the business income tax. But then around 1985, not long after I arrived in West Virginia, there was a big clamor that businesses should pay based on their ability to earn income, based on profits, not based on consumption. So we moved away from that B&O tax structure, that consumption tax structure, to an income tax structure. And then a decade ago, we were the quickest state I've ever seen to go to combined reporting. I think in a matter of 2 weeks, it went from being introduced to enacted. So we change tax laws quite frequently in West Virginia, but our biggest problem is trying to figure out the mix of consumption taxes and income taxes, whatever that might be, to fill in the gap for that lack of local real estate tax that the other states have. And that's been because our tax load has to be higher to provide the same services. And to the extent that the taxes on business rather than individuals, government services are like any other commodity. The lower the price, the higher the demand. So ultimately, those states that have low tax incidence on their residents will have a higher demand for government services and vice versa. Alaska and Wyoming are great examples of that. And West Virginia also suffers a bit from that too, especially since most government services are provided by the state. If it were provided by local government, it would be a different scenario in the state. But most of our services, starting with elementary and secondary education, our surrounding states, number of them are about half or more than half of education funding comes from local governments. In West Virginia, it's 2/3 to 70% coming from the state government. So those are real challenges that make it really difficult to put in a tax structure that works for economic growth.
Thank you.